promotion, regular rates apply. Equipment installation taxes and franchise fees extra.
You're sitting at home and the lights go out. Is it a power outage? You can tell by looking at your electric meter. If there are numbers in the display, your power is still on. Check your circuit breaker box or fuse panel for trip breakers or blown fuses. If there are no numbers in the display, your power is out and you should call the PUD at 503-397-1844 to report it. For more tips, visit www.crpud.net. And we are back on Columbia County Today. Hey, you know what? I think we're going to expand this show because we don't seem to have time usually for all of the phone calls. So coming up maybe in March, we'll expand the show to at least 2 hours, and that'll give you a little more time to call in because I got some feedback yesterday, as a matter of fact, about that. So we'll be expanding the show a little. It is 11 minutes before the hour. Remember, we played the show back at 6 o'clock on Sunday mornings, and you can tune in case you missed any of it. And I do have our topic of discussion today, by the way, the Hospital Columbia Health District Board meeting last night, which got into chaos. But I also have a video of that. And I think what I'm going to do is look at the video and then maybe post that up on KOHI.TV, which is our TV channel here, our internet TV channel. So all of you can get a look at that, and that'll be on, Brady Preheim said he would be posting that up on, is it the No Hospital site, or I forget which site. But all right, let's go to Georgia on line one. Georgia, thanks for waiting. What's on your mind?
Well, I was at the same meeting.
Yes, you were.
And I had a question to ask the board before everything went south. And so I don't have all the details, don't know what their answer is. But at the very, very beginning, they made a motion, passed it, and seconded it so fast you didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like they're going to be going on another seminar or like training session or something. And I just would like to know what it is since there's not going to be a hospital. I think we footed at least one, if not two, since they've been denied twice and the election for 5209. So my question was going to be what exactly it was about.
I just want to know what the Columbia Health District Board is actually going to do now, since they're, since there's nothing for them to manage.
That's a good question, and why would they need more training to do nothing?
And maybe that's why the money trail. Now, I'm not accusing anyone here, but it just stinks to me, and I'm an outsider, I admit it. But like I said at the beginning of the program, Georgia, follow the money trail. Now, you and Peggy and Tammy and Stephanie are going to run for the board. Now,
Yes.
Is that the Public Health Board, or is that the Columbia Health District Board?
Health district.
Okay, so...
And like I said before, there's at least two other people I know of that are interested. Well, now I know of three other people.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is another chair, I mean, there's enough people ready to run for them that...
What I would ask you, if you get on the board, could you give me, after every board meeting, call the show and tell me what the heck is going on, because nobody else does.
Well, I already told the paper when we were interviewed,
Mm-hmm.
or I was interviewed, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
that one of my first intentions is to make sure that copies of all of our minutes go to all of the local news sources.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Well,
public...
and to be fair, Pam Powell did send me a news release after I griped and moaned and bitched and jumped up and down and screamed and yelled. And Jay Tappan does respond to me every time I call him, and he calls me back and we talk on the air. So I mean, I'm not unhappy about that. I'm just saying that we need to solve this problem and put it to bed as quickly as we can. And information here is the key.
I agree, and I think by getting the minutes out, at least providing them to the papers, providing them to you, maybe putting them on a website,
Mm-hmm.
people that cannot attend a meeting, whether it's at the time they have set at 5:30 or any other time, day or night,
Mm-hmm.
they would still have access to the information without going down and asking for information, paying for copies, paying for time, because I would also like to see that part of that go away.
Let me ask
If
you
people want
the...
information, I think it's their information, they should have access to it.
Oh, sure. Now, let me ask you the $64 question. Who's getting, do you know, and I'm not trying to be unfair here because I don't know, who's getting paid out of all this?
Well, the way they explained it last night is that some of the money is actually going to public health employees because they
Why is that
consider
happening?
that they are doing hospital board work.
But there's no hospital.
I know.
So we're actually paying salaries then?
We're paying partial, according to them. We're paying part of their salaries for only the part that they're wrapping up the hospital issue.
So it seems to me that public health is kind of leached onto this money.
Well, it's more than public health.
Oh.
In my opinion, it's also the county commissioners. And
Oh, they're
Rita
not-
was
no,
right
they're
out
not-
front about it.
They're not getting any money out of this. I mean, they're not getting a check, right?
No, but
No.
Rita was right out front with saying, and she's still preaching, to the end, that public health all the way. Apparently there's an agreement between the county and the
careful,
board that they
Georgia,
will take care of public health.
Georgia, careful. Columbia Health District and public health are not the same.
But there is an
and-
agreement between the county
Right.
and the health board to take care of part of public health.
Oh,
That's what we heard last night.
well, this explains where the money trail is then.
Exactly. And we haven't seen a copy of that agreement, but, I'm not going to go down there now and ask for it.
Oh, I would. Why not?
Well, for one, they would charge quite a bit of money, I'm sure.
They would. It's just a piece of paper for crying out loud.
I know. But they've got it all set up to cover money coming everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
Stephanie was
mess.
asking specific questions about their travel expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a conflict of opinion between what was asked for and what was done and how it was going to be charged. It was over $200.
You know what I think we need to do is I think we need to audit the books.
That's one of the first things that needs to be done by an independent audit.
Yeah. I wonder what that would cost.
I don't know, but it's very common in all kinds of boards and situations.
Hey,
So
maybe Dan Garrison could help us out with that. He's a good CPA, or we'll get Ted Olson, or
Dan Garrison is their accountant.
Well, then Dan. Hey, Dan.
We need an independent accountant.
No, Dan's a good guy.
Oh, I agree, but it needs to be independent, not one of his books.
Well, then let's bring in some guy from, I don't know, Yakima or something.
Or the state.
No, not the state.
Well, why not?
Well, who knows? I mean, everybody's probably got an agenda here, Georgia. I don't know.
People want to know where the money is. And
I just want to know where the money trail is.
That's
all.
what we need to help them find out.
Well, that's what we need to do next then. See, as a political person now you've thrown your hat in the ring. You're a candidate. So now you have to demand the money trail. There's your political stance. If you vote for me, I'll tell you where the money went.
Well, besides that, we have to find out
Sure.
that trail before we can even see if there's anything left to refund.
Oh, there probably isn't.
I would doubt it, too. But
Okay. Well, anyway, I love talking to you. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
All right. There we go. We have time for one more call today. We've gotten crazy, and we're going to go. I forgot who's on line 2. I think Tammy's calling back. Tammy, round 2. What's up?
Okay, right quickly, that fella, you asked him a question about the designation.
I did.
All right, there's a man named Scott Ekblad, and I can't quite remember the department, but he was with the state.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Human Resources or Human Services or one of those.
Okay.
And he was working with them on this hospital, critical access hospital. He wrote letters to this health district board and for the project and said, hey, the criteria is going to change. The criteria is going to change. He kept telling them that. Well, the criteria changed in January of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they couldn't meet the criteria, the 35 miles, I believe it was. But the reason that they couldn't fit in the criteria was simple. They simply did not fill out the paperwork.
What?
So it was their ineptness right from the get-go that cost them the critical access designation.
Careful, there are a lot of attorneys listening to this show. That could be actionable.
Well, I wished one of them would pick it up and somebody would, legally would help us out because we don't have the money to hire an attorney and spend $50,000 on this.
No, we have no money.
And we shouldn't have to, Marty.
No, that's
to me,
true.
it's plain and simple. They ought to do what's right.
Okay, hold on. So what you're saying is that the critical care access designation was changed after the 2004 election.
Yes, it was, but the reason they didn't fit the criteria is because they did not apply for it. There was paperwork they had to fill out, and they simply did not do it. So that was their fault.
Okay, so we should demand their resignations based on that.
Well, heck, I've been harping it, but I'm afraid to speak. I get a little riled up.
Well, no.
I don't want to offend anybody and make anybody cry.
Tammy, look, just quit swearing and you'll be okay.
That's the first time I've ever sworn in a public meeting.
Well, God bless you.
God bless me.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Well, there you go, folks. It's our continuing story. Hey, this is better than Jersey Shore, baby. This is not going to go away, and we are going to continue to stay with this. I would call, I guess the only thing I can do at this point is either not have an opinion, but you know me, I have plenty of opinions. And I know both sides on this, know the people, some of them really well, some of them not so well. I am calling this morning for a publishing of the money trail. I'm calling on the current board to publish the numbers, and the county commissioners to step up, publish the numbers. Put it in print it all, put it out there. Hey, if you newspapers want to sell some more newspapers, there you go, baby. The Chronicle or the Spotlight. You want to be big time like the Oregonian? Follow the money. That's what I'm calling for. And I'm going to go get a sandwich, get some lunch. Have yourself a great weekend. It's Columbia County Today. Hopefully we'll be back next Friday here on your favorite radio station, AM 1600 KOHI.
You've been listening to Columbia County Today on KOHI with Marty Rowe, brought to you by M.E. Moore Construction and by your Columbia River PUD. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of KOHI Radio, its staff, or advertisers. More talk, more news, more weather, more sports. 24 hours a day, this is AM 1600 KOHI St. Helens.